Nerd Soul.
Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go, cause we got Star to the Trek. That's right, Star Trek Discovery. We out there just discovering, doing what we gotta do, and I have someone with me, cause we ain't alone. All right, cinematic sorcerer. I give to you, Solar Great. What's up?
Hey everybody, what is going on today? I am Solar Grey, the Cinematic Sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower, at least the little Wizard Tower window that NERDSoul has, going into his illustrious stream. How's it going, my friend?
Man, chilling. Feeling pretty good, especially after this episode. I want to, get your thoughts on it and everything. But we have some great conversations, which I enjoy, and I also like the fact that we get some time to pontificate on the Trekness of the stars. Uh, I want to throw it to you. Oh, since we have this new episode, in general, how are you feeling about Face the Strange?
So, what I'm gonna say is, after watching the episode, a thought occurred to me.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, was this episode necessary, and they've been setting us up for it since episode 2.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, that was a very clever way to do it.
Yes.
Very clever way. I like that very much.
We learned a lot from this episode. Like, even we got a little kind of like a little read into the temporal wars and one of the weapons that were used in it. I think this was, some people might consider this a filler episode, but I think this episode was extremely necessary for character growth. So even if someone would consider this a filler episode, I think this is like a great filler episode. Because we don't really, it's weird, we learn a lot but we don't really move.
Yeah. This is a very interesting thing. This episode, major shouts out to the writers. Oh my god, shouts out to the writers. See, and I believe it's the Bruce Snyder book, I believe, Save the Cat. It brings up the idea of what's called the Pope in the Pool. And that is a way to write exposition in a way that doesn't feel like exposition. So he either wrote it into one of his scripts or he noticed it in a movie that he saw where the main character needed exposition. It was just that time of the story. For those of you guys that don't know, because I'm using all fancy writer's terms and stuff, exposition is when someone just comes out and says what the problem is. It's whenever you get somebody talking about the backstory or telling the main character, all right, so we've got this thing going on and this is what you're actually here to do. Okay?
It's like usually when, like, if you watch a lot of TV shows but you're not used to the dialogue, it's like when the characters finally compare notes. Or horror movies do this a lot. When they finally come upon like the old lady that has all the like the supernatural knowledge, when she gives them the download.
Exactly.
Like that
exactly. This is the exposition dump. They're expositing important information to the main characters. Okay. And the Pope in the Pool thing is, he noticed, I can't remember if he wrote it or if it was in the thing. I should have pulled the book out before I got on the show. That there was a story where the main character was getting exposition from the Pope, but the Pope was doing laps. And he was like, it was something that he saw, because he says in the book, I was more distracted by the idea of the Pope, okay, the Cardinal of Rome, the head of the Roman Catholic Church, the number one priest on the planet, actually doing laps in the pool, with his little swim cap on, wearing Speedos and swimming around the pool. And it's like, wait, this is the Pope. Why is the Pope? You know what? I can see why the Pope is swimming. And while the brain is distracted by that, it's not paying attention to the fact that the Pope is going a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. You see what I mean? And what this episode did was it took that concept and gave us something that if you grew up watching TV like I did, you come to expect it. And a lot of people, because we live in a crap time, love making fun of the clip show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just the episode that is just a whole episode of clips from previous shows. And the clip show is important to remind us how far we've come over the course of the season or the show.
5 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. And this episode was very much a clip show in the final season of the show, saying, "Hey, remember that? Remember this? Remember the Red Angel?
Remember Lorca and his crazy butt? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like there's a lot. We've come a long way.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Remember when Michael was unlikable?
This crew dealt with a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And so that was clever. That was a very clever way to put a clip show into the last season. And this was also, when I say this was necessary in building us up for the last few episodes, we needed that moment where the new first officer and Michael Burnham really got to understand each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah, this was like, okay, so you're the new first officer. You're on the ship, but you ain't one of us yet. And you don't even want to be one of us. You don't have respect for how we do things here. You know,
man.
and,
All right. So
yeah.
there's a moment where Reese makes a suggestion or something like that. Or it talks about Locke and Moll and how they might be letting us take them to the next thing or whatever. And for no reason, he gets smart with them. Like Rayner doesn't have to get smart with him. He like goes out of his way. And honestly, since he went out his way, I said I'm like Lisa and I usually watch this show together. I mean, she doesn't actively watch it, but she's there.
Yeah.
And when he did that, I paused the show and I said, I was talking to the captain. I'm sorry if you didn't understand, especially since you love organizational structure. I was talking to the captain.
Yeah.
Now, but I know
love picking the fight.
Like he went all the way out his way to say something to Reese. It wasn't even necessary. So of course the captain is like, Reese, take the con real quick. We're gonna have a little conversation.
Well, you say for no reason. You know what I saw? Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I grew up with a single mother, so I can't quite make the dad and the grill reference. But I will say, this is the first time the younger generation, he's like that auntie or that uncle that comes to Thanksgiving dinner, but he's there early. And it's like, what you know, kid, you just started cooking for the family. And mom had to sit up going, hold up. He's been making the cobbler for the past 5 years for a reason.
Yeah, like
so you sit
just because
down.
you haven't been around us for 8 to 10 years, and the last time you saw him, he was 5. Well, guess what? He's 15 now, and he's actually been making grandma's cobbler since he was 13. So he's got some years under his belt. He's actually got some skills.
Yeah, thank you.
Or your brother, our respectable, responsible uncle of the family. See, he taught him how to cook on the grill. When you were out living fancy free and couch surfing
or when you were locked up.
When you were locked up in and out. So he learned how to make this steak medium rare or rare or well done, perfect to a T, due to the fact that he was with your brother, the responsible one.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, that setup there, it was very much the, come here for a minute. Let me holla at you. Let him cook. Let the damn boy cook. That's what I like that essence of it. But yeah, it's very much the, well, I was a captain last week. And it was, yeah, but see, you're not anymore.
And
So,
this is another part that he hit on. I want to know your thoughts on this. Where he said, she said, like, it's my call or whatever. And he said, what if it's the wrong call?
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to lean with him on that because of this. It may be the wrong call from your perspective because you're used to how your ship and your crew runs, but you're not there no more. These are a completely different group of people.
Mm-hmm.
They were, I guess, born out of, or their bond was born out of a completely different atmosphere. So they don't operate like that. So if you try to operate like this here, they're probably either going to shut down or they're just not going to trust you and or respect you. So you're not going to get where you thought you would go, even if we tried your way.
Yeah. And so you're asking me that question on that? And I'll
how do you see that?
Facts, it goes down to what the problem was. Okay. And the problem was addressed with one statement, and that is, join me in my ready room. Okay.
Yeah.
Because facts, that's the second half of the first officer's job. The first officer's job, and if y'all in the Navy, hook me up, back me up on this. First officer, or the executive officer, has two jobs. One, it is the captain's voice to the crew. Okay? Because the captain don't really talk to the crew. They're busy dealing with management, i.e., the brass and the overall big picture. And it's the first officer's job to go to each member of the crew or to each head of each department to go, yeah, do this. Yeah, do that. Yeah, do this. Yeah, do that. Okay. But the second job of the first officer, just like with the sergeant and lieutenant dynamic in the Army, is to look at the captain going, you sure? Like, you really sure about this? The problem was that he did it in front of the crew.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I get you.
So
like, this is supposed to be a locker room situation, and we all out on the court.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly it. I keep forgetting you're an athlete because I was never one, but that's exactly it. Like, and remember the Titans? When old boy took old boy from the wire to the side, it's like, yeah, I don't like your attitude. Attitude's a reflection of leadership, Captain. That was the conversation that had to be had, but it couldn't be had on the field in front of the team.
Yeah, you can't do that. That was one of the things that really bugged me, rest in peace, about when Kobe and Shaq had their falling out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we don't expect y'all to be loving each other, high-fiving, hugging all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Chest bumping and stuff. But y'all brought that out on the court. The only people supposed to know that y'all don't like each other is like the team and the coach. That's it. Shoot, and maybe not even the owner.
Maybe not even the team is the thing.
True that.
That is straight up, like, I can tell you, because I've been out of basketball for a long time, and I'm about to tell your viewers how long. But I can promise you, I can bet money that Pippen and Jordan yelled at each other all the time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had some very turbulent. I'm
even willing to bet that they came close to throwing hands more than 10 times over the course of their careers. But you never saw it on the court.
True.
And that was what the problem was. And the captain handled
speaking
it.
Of, I caught a bit of the Cleveland game yesterday. The Cats were playing some good ball. They were playing some good ball. I saw about 10 minutes of the game, so
Oh, okay,
shouts out
good
to
for
y'all.
them. Yeah.
I don't know if they won, but they were playing some good ball at the time. But
Oh,
anyway,
congratulations to them. If I still watch sports, or if I had any love for Ohio other than the people that live there, see what I did there? See, I love y'all, but
yep.
I wouldn't live there. Um, then I would have, I'd be more connected to that statement. But yeah, that was the thing. What's his name? Rayner.
Yeah.
Rayner, seriously, has to come to terms with he ain't in charge no more.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been trying to run a warship.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's a great wartime conciliary. But
we're trying to usher in peace.
Yeah, and the Discovery is not a military vessel.
Nah, but it actually has, honestly, the way the ship is built is probably one of the best. If you were to look at like a battle situation, remember what was this? Was it the first season? Remember when they were doing like all those jumps and like shooting at? It was season 1, right? When they were fighting the Klingons, when they were jumping all around. I was like, yo, honestly, this ship is probably like the best warship, even though it's not a warship. Like, because it's like the Flash.
I will tell you,
jump over and over, and you can like.
I will tell you flat out, bro. The Discovery is one of the most horrifying weapons that Starfleet ever came up with. Between the Spore Drive and its crew of mad scientists, the Discovery is horrifying. And it's only gotten more so horrifying over the course of the show. However, it's piloted by crazy people who are bent on peace. And not in that peacemaker, I'll kill every man, woman, and child to assure peace. And see, he's used to dealing with that. He's used to the Suicide Squad. Now he's with the Justice League.
And then I guess this also falls back to that whole discussion when it comes to organizations or governments. Like, okay, so you built these soldiers and you built them very well. And they're awesome at what they do. But now there's no war going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you've built this thing that likes to kill.
No, that's good at killing.
Yeah, not only likes to kill,
and
but
not very
good
at or doesn't realize how good it is at other things.
Yeah, so it's like, what do you do with this thing now? Because he keeps referencing the burn, and it finally hit me. I was like, you know what? He's still living there. Like even though the burn is over, he's still there. It's kind of like, and this is no diss to anyone who just came home, but it's kind of like that guy or woman that just came home, and how you see them eat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yo, man, you don't have to eat like that here. You know what I'm saying? You're at home. You're back home. You don't have to eat like that.
So
but
what
don't
you're
eat
talking
like
about,
that for a good year or two before.
Yeah, what you're talking about is post-traumatic stress disorder. Like, real talk, that is what it looks like. It's not, a lot of people hear it and they think about the old 80s depictions of Vietnam vets who have flashbacks and who go nuts and start attacking family members. Not to say that is not an aspect, okay? But but just like with racism, not everybody is a cross-burn and hood-wearing thing. It comes out in a whole lot of other ways, constantly.
Yeah.
And he is still on the battlefield. Like, you and I are both black men. You and I both grew up not in the middle class. How many people do we know that still act with the same suspicion and hyper vigilance that comes from growing up during the crack epidemic?
Yeah. And then, the stuff, even the basic small stuff still happens it's funny because stuff like when you talk about like racism, it happens so much you don't even, it's like you see, you're just like, Yeah, you're like, yeah, it's of course.
Well,
Like
that's a different subject because America's been trained to only be upset at the cartoonish visions.
yeah,
They
unless
only get upset at the cross burnings.
well, that's because of how it's been portrayed.
Yeah,
It's been marketed for a reason that, white supremacy is only cross burning.
right.
And
And
if they're not burning a cross or like spitting at you, then it's not racism.
right.
So then
And
once they've set that tone, then they can say anything else that you say is like, oh well, you're just sensitive.
oh
You
yeah.
just don't you're taking it out of context.
Now, and the same marketing campaign has been put with um mental disorders. And it was there. It was seriously there in that scene where Michael was like, "Okay, see, right now you're activated." And he's like, "I don't need any of this crap." Okay, that was a line cross. And she's like, "Yeah, that was." And the reason that you're not in the brig is because I understand that you have post-traumatic stress disorder. We are not in the war right now, bruh.
Now,
And you work for me.
so it's like we're not in a war, and I know to a certain degree an argument could be made is we're not in war, but the way we stay out of war is because of people that think like me. I can get that argument to a certain degree, but we also still have to temper that because we're not in war. Like it, I do understand people that think like you, and we do need, I guess, for the lack of a better word or better phraseology, like paranoid folks that are always skeptical of someone's movements because you don't want to get to war. But you also don't want to treat everybody like they're about to shoot a rocket at you either, or a torpedo, I guess.
Yeah.
I,
It's be aware, but don't meditate on it.
yeah.
You know?
I'm glad that he was able to connect in a way that I don't think he wanted to or would have, like she said earlier, and I think the last episode, that it was a choice to connect. You know.
That's what Tilly said, but he was coming
Okay,
from
okay. Tilly said it
these.
was a choice. Okay.
Yeah, but he was coming from the standpoint of, and I'm making the choice to not correct or not connect because it isn't necessary. And this whole episode was, yeah, it is, man. It's real
It,
necessary. With
yeah,
this crew, you
it
gotta
comes in. It comes in handy.
yeah,
Like
with
connection
this
comes
crew,
in handy.
you gotta connect. Because if they act like you, we gonna be stuck in time forever.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
everybody's gonna die, and
we'll all
and
be dead.
yeah, and that I finally realized what the thing is
Mhm.
about that look, that Moll and Mistress Smoky Eye look. And I think it's that wig actually has a really good union contract.
Oh,
See, that's what that's got to be. That
all right.
wig is contracted to be in everything sci-fi for the next like 5 years.
All right. Since we're talking about Moll L'ak, when the little guy was in the room for a second, and when he saw Locke, he was like, "Is that a scroll?" I was like, "You know what?" I was like, "You know what? Yeah, yeah. It kind of does look like a scroll, but we're gonna let this slide. It's not a scroll."
you
I
know,
was like, "But he does it. He does kind of like a little bit." But I like the way she poisoned that guy and her reasoning behind it.
oh yeah.
I know she's a bad guy, but that was that for from oppressed people, it it was satisfying. Now,
Well, it's that
whether
it's
it's
that
right or not, we
idea.
can argue that. But was it satisfying? Yes.
Yeah, see, it's that idea of that dude was gonna double cross them anyway.
Yeah, true.
So it was like, eh, since we are the bad guys, we're just gonna kill him because he's either gonna double cross us or he's gonna kill us when we make the drop. So,
Yeah, it's like he's gonna double cross us, so we might as well double cross him first, especially since we know that he did this thing that led to my people being can't remember what she said, enslaved to the It's not the oh man, the people, the green people that was such a problem in season 3. And I can't remember their name.
But not the Orions.
Yeah, not the Orions.
But yeah. So seriously though, I was like, okay. And it shows that she's ruthless. And it's like, okay, we get in the little thing. And her man's like, oh man, are you sure? All right, you know what? My heart's not really in this, but I'm trusting you.
Yeah, because he definitely from the beginning he's had a look on. I think I might call it now. I think he's gonna be the one that stops her at the end. Like when all is said is done, said and done, I think, yeah, I think he's gonna end up stopping her.
Well, he'll either be the one that stops her, or she's gonna get taken out, and then he's gonna go real bad. Those are about the only places that it's going. Unless they do something fun and creative, like they stop her and he goes, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just go. Get a farm, maybe open a store. I'll go talk with like that data robot, see if he's hiring a janitor. That's that. And I don't see that one happening. I would like it, but it don't make for good TV.
It's like, no, it's not really great for TV. So Moll L'ak, we did see not only that they have long memories, and they're extremely resourceful.
Oh yeah.
And Reese was right. He was like, well, we know where we're going to a certain degree. They have no clue. They're probably going to let us figure it out. And of course, as we can see, they got a time bug, which brings a whole new understanding to the temporal wars.
Mm-hmm.
And how bad they probably could have been. They lost 6 hours. You could be dead in 6 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I was in LA, there was the sheriff. He's not super well liked and understood why, but he did make a point about the concealed carry, that he was trying to get more people to be able to have concealed carry, because he was like, and he was referring to the sheriffs and LAPD at the time. He said, we don't have enough people to protect everyone, and our response time at this moment is 15 to 18 minutes. And I don't know if anyone knows, but 15 to 18 minutes might as well be 10 years if someone's kicking in your door at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the showdown at the OK Corral, the whole plot of Tombstone, yeah, that was 11 seconds.
So in 6 hours, ooh, I was just like, man, that's crazy what these little machines could do. And who would even be able to engineer something like this? But that it's an awesome and extremely dangerous weapon. But just seeing how far they're willing to go, that these are, at first I was thinking that these might have been criminals that were in over their head, and they might still be, but they're not common criminals anymore.
They're not Packlets. All right, they're not.
Yeah,
I was thinking that
these might have been. I was thinking that these might have been kind of like your rank and file, kind of like these, maybe
these guys are straight
smugglers kind of thing.
No, these guys are Ocean's 11 level of antagonists, and I appreciate that. I truly do. I truly do appreciate it, because it's kind of showing poor don't mean stupid. On the run don't mean, well, if you notice, like take the antagonist from last season. He was Mr. I went to all the best schools. I'm a super genius. I know myself. I know that I'm right more than the whole government and all the science people and the time travelers and the ones that save the galaxy, because, I had all the best education. I'm the smartest. I'm the this. I'm the that. And when it comes to TV being essentially the number one ways that people get acclimated to the world, still on a global scale, there's always been this TV thing of like, poor and dirty equals dumb. And these guys are like, oh no, we're like the whole idea of if I was who I was and I had your resources, you wouldn't stand a chance,
Yeah.
you know? And I like that a lot because again, that's where I come from. That's what I'm like. So, um, and that's something I got to admire. But again, this is the last season of Discovery, and the last season of any show is what have we got to lose? What they gonna do? Cancel us? We're putting this on screen. Mwahahaha.
Oh, speaking about putting things on screen, I did
Yes.
want to talk about one of the connections that we got, and that was between Book and Burnham.
Oh God, that hurt.
But
That
it was good.
hurts.
It was good to see that black love again, man. It was. It was good to see that black love, proper. You know what I'm saying? No one's in and out of jail over and over. Nothing crazy. No drug abuse. No, just two respectable, responsible individuals that love each other. And she said she loved him.
Yep.
And that wasn't, she ain't say that because she like, oh, I gotta say it because I'm in the past. No, she said that because it was real.
Yeah.
I mean, also she saw the body when he took the shirt off. She saw that. She saw abs.
that was the for the ladies moment.
She saw the
Yeah.
abs.
Which again, I gotta respect because Star Trek has quite a few moments of for the fellas.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Yeah,
nice
I mean,
to
sure, go and show the pecs. You worked
know?
hard for them pecs. You did all your pull-ups and stuff. Go and show them off a little bit, just a little
Yeah.
bit, not too crazy, just a little touch.
because yeah, you say just a little bit. It was still enough to get my dysmorphia going. But I'm like, oh yeah, it's Book. Blah 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 blah. Oh wait, he's got those and those eyes.
It's like, oh man, I got to do some push-ups today.
I just pretty much said, I'm glad I got robes. I'm just gonna put my robes on, open some books, learn some Gregorian chants.
Oh man, that was cool to see the way he talked to her, and comparing that to the way he talks to her now, you can see his respect for her and stuff is still there. The situation they went through has pulled them apart, but not their reverence for one another.
Right.
And so I liked him kind of giving her a little, kind of like a little pep talk, and her responding to it the way she did. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, okay, all right, that's what I'm talking about. So that was fun for me to see, especially when, we have other people in popular media that can also make these types of depictions of black love, but somehow are unable to do it. I'm not going to say any names like Shonda Rhimes, but anyway, back to Book and Burnham. I thought that was awesome, and I wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, no, that was. I think the thing that I liked was her running into herself from season 2.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought that was from season 1. Okay.
Oh, yeah, season 1 then. Just early Burnham.
Yeah.
Her Burnham running into early Burnham. And I'm like, okay, all right, let's see how that was. And it was interesting because seeing the way that the actress played the two, I'm like, oh, that's why a lot of people wasn't feeling Burnham in the early show. Because Star Trek has this long history of starting out the main character in the position of Burnham last season. Like that's where they start the character.
Yeah.
Okay. Either the new captain to the ship, but they are officially a captain. And Discovery was one of the first shows where we got to see someone rise to a position of authority through hardships. Like DS9 touched on it. Okay, touched on it. But one of the big things was, why isn't Cisco already a captain? And the answer was PTSD from the Borg War. But Cisco was already there, And when you look at every show, we are looking at a character who is learning how to be a better boss.
Yeah.
And Discovery opens up with, "Oh no, you ain't the boss yet."
The
Michelle
discovery
Yeoh is the
opens
boss.
up with you're already in hot water, and then you mess up even worse.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the first episode, she essentially starts an intergalactic incident that plays out over. Well, no, it doesn't fully play out over the first season because then you have the whole other dimension thing that they fall into.
Uh-huh.
You got Lorca and his crazy self, and man,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And Star Trek fans' expectations tend to be, if we're gonna have a Star Trek show, it's gonna be about a ship and a captain, and the self-insert is, all right, why should I follow this captain?
Mhm.
And Discovery didn't give us that. It gave us she's gonna be an awesome captain, and you're
One
gonna
day.
watch how she gets there. It was very much the Star Wars prequels of a Star Trek show. You feel me?
Yeah. And see, when I came in, I was just like, okay, cool. All right, so she's in trouble. All right, let's see how this works out. And then when everything hit the fan, I was like, this is my type of show. I mean, you end the first episode with her firing on is the Klingon ship, or is it? Yeah, it's a Klingon
Yeah, it
ship.
was
I
the
think.
Klingons.
She fires on a Klingon ship, which I mean, I probably would have made the same call, but dag, it definitely, yeah, definitely, it set off some things. And then seeing Tilly in the other dimension and like this young crew together, I really like that vibe. That's why season one, I enjoyed it. I like the little, especially how much I could not stand Tilly then, and how much I hated to see her go last season. I was like, you know what? I was like,
This show.
I remember when I didn't like you.
Hey, I can remember when I didn't like Stamets.
Oh man. Stamets, oh god. But then when Stamets became a dearest, like I guess surrogate father, we're like, oh.
And got that other DNA put in him, and just calm down.
Yeah. Also, when Reno came in and was like, look, okay, you're not the only smart guy. All right, just calm it down.
Now, Reno, oh my god. I don't know why they're only giving us sprinkles of Reno. I mean,
and we did
I'm saying that because
Reno
she's my
this
favorite
episode,
character
too.
in the show. But yeah.
I just want to say we love Reno. She's dope.
I'm betting that they're gonna okay, I'm not betting, but I'd really like to see that at the end of the show, it turns out Reno is a Q. Because that's how she acts.
Maybe maybe.
Because remember, not all members
does have that kind of like attitude about herself.
Yeah, because she's like, look, I know more than you do, but I'm gonna let you figure it out, okay? Again, one of her first interactions with Stamets was like, Stamets was still injured, and she's like, yeah, no, we would have to get that from up there, but I ain't doing it. We're calling in one of these younger guys. And you ain't doing it either, because you messed up. And he's like, no, I'm going to do this because I'm Stamets and I have to. And she's like, okay, yeah, sure. Hey, how'd that work out?
He's like, so how's your hip again? Nah.
Exactly.
I can't remember. Was it his lower back? Something happened. He was like, he wasn't feeling good.
Yeah, it was his back. He had gotten like shot or something. And, and last episode, the tell me 3 things about yourself. Last time I was in one of these, I had a bag of chips. I really don't care. I make the ship go.
It's like, I don't care. I'm smarter than like most of the people that are in the room, and all of these people are super duper smart. So like, I'm gonna just go back because, I got things to do.
Yeah, because that whole thing of like, if I was doing this, and that, yeah, no, that would track. Are you stuck in a time loop? What? Oh no, I'm just messing with you. Anyway, I'm just gonna go.
You know what? That line might lend some credence to your idea of her being a Q.
That was the whole inspiration behind it.
You know what? That if she is a Q, it'd be like, so hold up. So you could have helped us how many times?
Yeah,
It would have been awesome to know.
and the whole thing with the Q is, yeah, I could have helped you the whole time. In fact, I did a couple of times. But see,
It's so
the
fun
whole
being
reason that
human.
we're looking at you guys is because we want you to evolve. We ain't gonna do it for you.
It's like it's so fun to be human. You guys, you guys try. You don't have the powers. You're working your hardest. You got moxie.
Or, do you do your children's homework? No. There you go.
It's like exactly. But yeah, so yeah, Reno's the bomb. I wanna see where they go with this, especially now that we know that Moll and Locke are like way more formidable than we thought they probably were. Um, I want to know because we did get this chance since we were jumping back. What do you think about the whole scene with Airiam and everything? Like getting her to understand that Burnham was the real Burnham. Or, well, I mean, I guess they're both the real Burnhams, but she's not lying.
Oh, yeah. So well, hang on. You mean when they were on the bridge?
Yeah.
So that scene was fascinating because again, seasons 1 and 2 are still kind of a blur for me. I haven't gone back for a rewatch. But when she did the thing that was written for people like me, going, look, this is who you are, this is what you're doing. Yeah, you're bunking with me and you're afraid that I'm going to kill you in your sleep because the whole mutiny thing. I'm not. The thing that got me was when the lieutenant commander was like, no, seriously, all right, no, I believe her. Because it was like, and you sacrificed yourself to blah, 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 blah. And there was no other way. And everyone's like, she would never do that. Blah, blah, blah. I've been in those dog piles before. And when she's like, yeah, I would. Like, without a second of hesitation. If the ship needs me to kill myself to save everybody, that's the job.
And the beautiful thing is, it sort of played out that way when it happened. Like everybody was like, no, you can't do this, but you're the only one that can do this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It was very Wrath of Khan, Death of Spock,
that season it was messing with her head because of the sentient what was it, the sphere or whatever.
Yeah.
Which of course then became Zora after being absorbed into the
the ship. Yeah. And so I mean that was
thank God that worked out for us.
Yeah,
because it could have been like, I am now evil ship. They'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, that's very true. And that was, all of that was a really cool thing. Although one of the moments that got me, that made me kind of raise an eyebrow, was when Lizard Man got into the elevator with her.
Oh, Linus.
And he was like, huh, red looks good on you. And I'm just like, you must be the most chill member of Starfleet.
But he's not
ever.
tripping at all. Like he's just like, oh, nice outfit. I like it.
It's like you're dressed in commander colors. Your hair is different than it was when I saw you an hour ago.
2 seconds ago. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. That's a good look on you. All right, catch you later.
But I can't lie. I might be Linus in that situation because I've been in a situation where somebody was like, which way did it go? I mean, I think he went over there. It's like, were you paying attention? I mean, nah, not really. I mean, I ain't thinking about him. Like,
now, see, real talk, I know it was very clear that Linus knew exactly who she was. Because that's the whole thing. It's not like Linus was dropping game on somebody he didn't recognize.
True.
He was just like, huh, that works for you. All right, bye. I'm like,
he even put the hand on the shoulder.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe he might be the Q. Because again, it's very much just that. Yeah, that tracks.
Like, all right, cool. Works for me. Y'all take it real. I mean, y'all take it easy. And that just that small piece is what helps make this crew so endearing to me. And I think that works. I mean, that works for Star Trek in general. You kind of have to like the crew. Like,
Yeah.
even though Deep Space Nine might be my favorite behind this, and see, it's tough because Discovery is probably my favorite because Discovery is kind of where I came back into watching Star Trek again,
Okay.
and I liked it so much for the things that it had. But I also really love Strange New Worlds, but for different reasons.
Yeah. And I can tell you.
But I love both of those crews. But the funny thing is, when it comes to other shows like Enterprise, I didn't really care about the crew, so I didn't really care about the show.
And see,
Like,
that's the really big thing. Discovery is an example of what happens when. All right, so if we take a look back at all the Star Trek shows, all right?
Mhm.
From the original series up to Deep Space Nine, you know what we really had? We had the command crew that was split into cliques. Okay, you had the Holy Trinity of Spock, Bones, and Kirk,
Okay.
and occasionally you would see Spock talking with Uhura. Occasionally you would see Bones drinking with Scotty. You know, with the Next Generation, you had Picard being the lone captain, but you had Riker and his on again off again relationship with Troy.
Yeah.
And then you had Troy talking to Crusher because, you know, women got to stick together. You had Geordi and Data. You feel me?
Gotcha.
Deep Space Nine, you know, you had Bajir and O'Brien. Then you had Bajir and Garrick.
Oh boy.
And then you had Kira and Odo. You know, and I can go on for each show, but with this one, there are cliques, but it's cliques within a group that you can tell really care about everyone, at least with the command crew.
Yeah.
You know?
I really do, at least from the bridge perspective. Oh, and it was nice to see the brother back.
Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce. He left to go. What did he do? Did he go to another ship? Can't remember, but he left in season 3 or 4.
I think he left in season 4. I think he went to a different ship.
But yeah, it was just nice to see through the. But I think with this group, since was me coming back into Star Trek, I liked it because they felt like a crew that kind of came together on their own, as opposed to crews that already were existing, sort of, and we just kind of dropped in when they were already good.
Yeah,
because you had Saru, and you had Michael Burnham, who was basically in trouble, right? When we first
all the time.
he's in trouble. She's a pariah. She might be kicked out, and you got Saru, who is not feeling her at all. Actually, the whole bridge don't like her. Tilly is scared to even sleep with her, or sleep in the same room.
I was so about to correct you on that.
Sleep in the same room before anybody says anything.
This is on the internet, so there's already art.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. But no one wants to. She's kind of like radioactive as far as anyone who wants to like move up or be seen, I guess positively in the captain's eyes. Then you have a captain who's dirty.
Well, which captain? Because there's been 4.
Oh, okay, Lorca.
Okay,
because remember, Captain Lorca was so he came
from the negative
other
universe.
side.
Yeah,
he came from the other side, but we never knew he came from the other side until the end of season 1.
2,
I think 2.
End of season 1 we found out, and then season 2 was all about being there because we had Michelle Yeoh, Captain Lorca, Captain Pike.
Yeah,
and
Pike for a second. Then Burnham.
Yeah.
So all of these situations came into play in like an awesome way where, I feel like these people had to like it's almost like watching people like in college. Like they were freshmen in college, and then they graduated when they had to go to the future.
Right.
And I think that's why I like this crew so much more than I like other crews. Even though my Strange New Worlds crew they're growing on me. They're growing on me fast.
Well, they better, because they're going to end with the TOS crew. I mean, that's where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
But with this crew, you can this crew is showing the most humanity. With the complex emotions and the building of the relationships and stuff, and us being there, is really big. Like, it's really, really big. And I think it's because of the new generation of the folks behind the scenes, you know, because like I said, this crew feels coherent. Everybody knows each other and everybody cares about each other.
Yeah.
And you don't have the like, what I can't see happening in this show is one member of the crew going to another member of the crew asking if they would talk to another member of the crew.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a crew that's so close knit and so bonded that everybody deals direct with everybody else. You know,
and they do it in a way that, you know, it doesn't feel out of place.
Exactly. You know, I mean, I particularly like that whole slow down, Commander. I already took your right hook. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, it's like, I've done it before. I don't want to do that again. Just please, no. Oh, it was also nice to see some of the Vulcan training moves on the 101 fight with Burnham.
Yeah, and
the Burnham 101 fight.
I'm not gonna lie.
Saw some kung fu in there, so that was nice.
The neck pinch to end the fight took me by surprise, and this is new because I'm that guy that's like, well, why doesn't she do the neck pinch? I'm like, you're Spock's sister. Do the Vulcan neck pinch. I would normally have been saying that the whole time, but I was so caught up in what was going on with the episode that those kind of cynical, why don't they just type statements that come to people's heads didn't come to mind in this one. You know,
it seemed like it was something that she didn't want to do, but she said, okay, all right, I gotta
like, I'm on a time crunch here. Yeah,
it's like, you gotta go. I'm sorry.
Of course, don't get me wrong, the major thing going through my head during that fight scene was stop hitting yourself. But you know, that's because I'm an immature child, man. But I think I really like the fact that they went through. I mean, make no mistake, this episode was stock standard storytelling. You know, you're in a situation. Now you have to solve the puzzle. Now you have to find, okay, so taking this to the tabletop RPG thing, this was very much all right, we're having a game, but there's only 2 people here. Okay, and cool. Your work schedule changed, and the third person could show up. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. All right, okay.
So, you know, you got your 2 characters in Reese and Burnham, and they're trying to figure out what's going on and all that stuff. And then the person who plays Stamets, it's like, hey guys, I got a week off work. Are we having any games? Like, yeah, we are actually. Show up. We could use your character. And it's like, I kind of figured out what was going on, but I need this. Oh, you mean this thing that we just figured out? Yeah, here. And it's like, cool. All right, I'll start working on that. But
we can do that now.
Yeah, but it was also a really great example of the writing principle of but and therefore. Okay, now we have a solution to the problem. Like, hey, I know, let's just rip the bug out. Whoa, don't do that. Because, you know, it could tear us apart through time and all that other stuff. Then it was, hey, we got all the pieces together to do the thing. Yeah, we got all the pieces to do the same thing. But for those of you guys out there that don't watch my show, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, the but and therefore thing is every time you have a clear goal in a story, something has to get in the way before you succeed. You know, so the smaller but and therefore thing was, all right, so in order to, like, I can build a machine to get the spider off, but I need these materials and we only got 10 minutes. All right, well, we'll
Yeah.
do it in the next thing. All right, well, everything we need is here for me to make this machine and solve the problem. But it requires holodeck stuff. Therefore, Burnham has to go to her room because that's the last of the holodeck stuff that's on the ship. So she goes in and gets the holodeck stuff, but Book comes out of the shower. Therefore, she has to have that conversation. You feel me? And
Man, in
you know,
in awesome fashion, they have to deal with connecting with their crew and their past or their past selves and stuff of that nature.
exactly. Connecting with people and coming to terms with the past in order to save the future. That is the motif of this episode.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Go ahead.
So with that being the case, you know, again, as I said at the beginning of the episode, this was super necessary because Rayner has no idea what he stepped into. He thinks he has an idea of what he stepped into. So jumping through time, seeing what they've been through, seeing how they got through it, he got a crash course. You know,
Yeah.
it's like he just got the job and, you know, then he got to see or kind of live through how they actually do stuff, which normally takes months or years when you're on a new crew. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know, and I mean new crew, I don't care what your job is.
You still have to learn kind of like the atmosphere of
Exactly.
the place that you're at.
How it works, who works well with who, and how they actually solve problems and stuff. And that little talk that Stamets had with him, you know, when he's like, yeah, just get it done. I'm like, stop trying to be a black dad. And Stamets going, have you any idea how much pressure I'm under? I got A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and I'm gonna do the job, but do not rush me.
Yeah.
And he's going, oh yeah, I didn't realize you had 4 jobs and college. Like, yeah.
It definitely gave them a chance to connect, and then also Rayner to be like, all right, you know what, I've been doing too much, so now that we're back in the current time, we got a chance to see him to a certain degree apologize to Reese. A man like Rayner, that's the apology you're gonna get.
Yeah.
A man like Reese, I mean, a man like Rayner, what's going to happen is when you get off, he'll be like, hey, you want to get some wings? That's going to be your apology.
You know what? Since we talked about Atlanta so much, check it out. It's in the archive, y'all. So go look at our Atlanta discussions. That episode where the boy got pulled out of his house and given to the two white ladies.
Oh yeah.
And at the end of the episode, it wasn't "Mama, I'm sorry." It's, is there any spaghetti? You know, that's what it was. You know,
that was pretty much it. It just,
you know, just yeah, that's straight up of, yeah, you were right.
So I know we could go on, but we coming up on time, so I'll throw it to you for final thoughts. Anything that on your chest. And where can they find you?
So, final thoughts on this is this episode was not as strong with the plot line as the other episodes. However, it is really an important episode to watch. Okay, this accomplished in one episode what Walking Dead couldn't do in an entire season, being season 2. Why are we at this farm? And the answer is to learn about these characters. You know, this was a really big character study so that we could learn about the new guy. And so the new guy could learn about everybody else in the ship. And for those of us that have been watching the show, from season 1 a reminder of how far they've actually come. You know,
Why are we on this farm? To realize, for Rick to realize what Michael told him through the screen on the first episode. You gonna have to kill your boy. He gotta go. He's not the same. He's not gonna change, and he's a danger. He gotta go. And I know that hurt, but he gotta go.
You know, and you guys can find me either on my YouTube channel, just look for Solar Grey or Bid P Blurred. And at my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/BID_P, where I live stream about a whole bunch of stuff. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, I mean, the dark side of the room is all about these larger concepts in fiction, but I'm black first, y'all.
Yep.
So yeah, it's, you know, how these things affect our storytelling, our games, you know, what's it like being a blurred and being an old one at that, and how times have changed from the 1980s to now. So come on in, check it out, hang with us. Maybe you too will find yourself going, you know what? I might be one of these Deckers he's talking about.
That's right. And the links below, guys, so you can definitely check that out. On my end, final thoughts. I really like this episode. I think it's like I said, we didn't move, but I think this is one of those things that it's very necessary for the crew to be able to move forward.
Exactly.
So I'm happy where we're at, and we got read into a lot of stuff, especially on Moll L'ak's side. And just that one little scene, we've read into a lot, because this is the third time we're seeing Locke look at Moll like, I don't really know if I want to do all this. You know what I'm saying? And also we're seeing Moll is she's definitely got, like, Locke doesn't have a problem killing, but I think Moll kind of enjoys it to a certain degree.
It's a matter of practical versus ruthless. Like, I can definitely see Locke looking at her going, all right, now was that seriously necessary? Like, could we have handled this any other way?
But kind of letting it slide because he loves her. So, but that's it. You know what? That's another lesson, guys. If you see red flags, they're not gonna disappear. They always gonna be there. If you know this person is going too far, at least too far for you, they're not gonna stop going too far. And I think Locke is gonna learn that lesson around the finale, probably in the penultimate episode. He's probably gonna learn that. But that'll be good to juxtapose between Burnham and Book most likely reconnecting sooner or later. So that'll be nice.
I'm not the best at pointing out red flags, and this isn't that podcast.
Yeah,
but shouts out to them.
I give y'all, you know, some advice every now and then. You know, I'll give y'all some advice every now and then. But you know, here at NERDSoul, we take these shows and we see how we can, you know, talk about them, have fun, and then every now and then apply them to our regular lives. So, you know, I mean, look, if you know the girl crazy, she's not gonna get uncrazy. All right, if she like killing people, she not gonna stop liking killing people. All right, just be careful, watch your back. But
and that goes for you fellas out there too. You know, that goes like, you know, you women out there, if he's throwing up that stuff and you be like, but I can change him because I love him. You might want to check the color of the flag, because sometimes when you see the world with rose tinted glasses, a red flag just looks like a flag. Just saying.
He can change, but you won't change him. But with that said, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next time that you have to go through your past experiences to destroy the time bug, this is just us saying peace.
Later, guys.